So I was asked the other day, why do humans have wisdom teeth if our jaws don't have enough room for them and most people have to have them removed? Well, I told them, since we evolved from apes who had larger jaws and less developed brains, well, they actually had room for the wisdom teeth. But since we have smaller jaws, but our DNA still creates the same number of teeth, we naturally have less room. And so sometimes we have to have them removed because one of the biggest killers in the ancient past was an infection in the wisdom teeth. So it's really obvious. I was talking to two different people, and the one who asked the question, they were like, oh, that makes complete total sense, since evolution is true. And the other said, I don't believe that. And basically, it all came down to, I don't believe that because I don't accept evolution. As if evolution was somehow just a field of thought and not really a scientifically verified fact. As if all the facts did not indicate evolution as the fucking truth. It's very pathetic, because if your alternative is poof magic, then how am I going to explain anything scientific to you? How can I explain to you how the moon came about? How am I going to explain to you that two planetary objects collided and that the remnants of one of the collision, flew around the Earth and eventually collected into a ball, which we see through gravitational forces that we see in the sky now. And the reason why it's, slowly becoming more distant from the Earth as it goes around the Earth is because of the initial push away from the Earth. It's been going away from the Earth. It's not going to always be there. It's going to eventually not be in Earth's orbit. It's eventually going to not necessarily be an exoplanet, but it's not just going to be spinning around Earth anymore. It's eventually going to not be in the gravitational pull of Earth. You always have to think about the sun, and all the other forces in the galaxy, solar system, universe, and whatever. But you sit here and you explain to people like scientific facts, and they're just like, I don't believe that. Well, this isn't a matter of belief. You either accept reality or you don't. Nobody's telling you to believe that the Earth is a spherical shape. It is an observable fact. And no one's telling you to believe that creatures evolved from pre-existing creatures. It is a fact based on morphology, genetics, and the fact that we only find specific animals and specific creature types in specific stratas. Okay, when you dig down into the Earth, you don't find a monkey riding on the back of a dinosaur like Ken Ham would have you believe. What we find are animals specific to that time period, because those animals, some of them died out and some evolved over time. That they had descendants who were different. They had certain changes. Okay, and we can track those changes. And the debate in evolution right now is what exactly was the ancestor of what, and specific little details, not big details like did anything evolve. Of course, we can observe that now. We can observe artificial selection, which is where mankind actually is causing the change. But natural selection is usually a much slower process. It happened over millions of years. It's not something that happened overnight. It makes complete sense. It's not something crazy and fantastical. Once you know anything about genetics, it's completely plausible. And not only plausible, but it's pretty much the only explanation because of all the facts that we have. So nobody's just sitting around saying, how can I make there to be no God? You either have to believe that God developed evolution, or he guides it, or you have to believe that God is so incompetent that when he created human beings, the ones he so loves, he couldn't even create them with big enough mouths for the number of teeth that he wanted to give them, And he also couldn't change the number of teeth at any point to alleviate suffering and actually save some of those thousands that died in the past. Thank you.